What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. I thought I would bring this because I was a little shocked by it. You guys know I'm not a hip hop fan. I'm not really into hip hop at all, quite frankly. Every once and again, if a song, catches my attention or something like that, it has to just be organic or something like that. But I'm definitely not somebody that classifies myself as a hip hop fan at all. But I do know who Rick Ross is, and I also found this interesting because I had just the day before I don't know what I was on. I was seeing something. There was a video or something where there was this young kid that was with Rick Ross's personal chef, and they were fixing some meal for him, and she was in contact with Rick Ross. He was on his way to their location, and she was teaching this dude how to fix whatever this lunch is she was fixing for Rick. And he came in and blah 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 blah. So I had just been watching that, and then this happened like the next day. I actually seen this yesterday, and I got distracted and I didn't do a piece on it. So rapper Rick Ross is put on life support after being found unresponsive at his Florida home. But before I deal with this, you guys, I want to deal with something else, because I'm sick and tired of the ignorant amongst us who are still going out of their way to slander Monique and find a reason not to support her. At the end of the day, you're too weak and pathetic to make sacrifice, because you are selfish, you are bullshit, and you can't do anything that doesn't cost you anything to support your people as a whole or as individuals. You just can't do it. You still got that slave mentality, that selfish beast mentality, where if it's not happening directly to you, then you really don't give a damn, and you'd rather continue to fork over your monthly payment to massa for Netflix rather than just take a principled stand because it's happening to one of us. As I've told you, until you think in terms of if it's happening to one of us, it's happening to all of us, you, the individual, will always fail, and we as a people will continue to fail. Absolutely. It doesn't matter. The moment we know one of us is being disrespected, we should rally around that. Instead, you want to do exactly what the white devil does. When one of us gets shot down in the street, instead of any empathy or humanity, they immediately start trying to find all the bad shit that this person has done and give you their whole life story from the time they were 3 years old, instead of just acknowledging that this was a savage act of murder, etc., etc. And you are just like your slave master. You're just like him. Just like him. Just like him. So, for all of you that keep typing bullshit that Monique is in it for the money because you're pathetic, because you're too pathetic to understand what principle and conviction looks like, I thought I would present this. Monique Networth in 2018, doing well in controversy, huh? Monique has been making waves with her recent comments about the alleged pay inequities with Netflix deals. Assuming her contract offers are consistent with her streams, the offer doesn't reflect Monique's resume and ability to draw numbers. In this article, we explore Monique's net worth in 2018 of an estimated $13 million. So set your pathetic slave ass down, because if it was about money, she would have took the 500,000. You see, if she was in all these woes. And I want to shout out K.R. Watkins. And I want to shout out, because K.R. Watkins was asked me, did you hear that they're now trying to say she owes the IRS and all this? Well, owing is not the same as not having the money, everybody. It's not the same damn thing. And I went and looked, did my research on it and looked it up after K.R. brought it to my attention. And everybody was quoting and citing the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which was reporting that she owed the IRS, that she was delinquent. Delinquent is not the same thing as late. And late doesn't mean broke. Understand that. Because right now, we're in March now. A lot of people getting their tax returns back and all this. But guess what? Taxes aren't even due till April 15th. Is tax day. Everybody knows that. You gotta have your taxes filed by April 15th. So everything that I read was erroneous and meant to put out a buzz that many of y'all pathetic ass will pick up and run with it. Because you've already decided, no, let me not support my sister. Let me find some reason not to support her. Let me find something bad about her character. Let me say something I don't like about her or some bullshit. You are not one of us. And it's that class amongst us that needs to just die off. Needs to die off. So this woman is worth $13 million. And I selected this one specifically because this is current 2018. So we're not giving you numbers from 2015 or 16 or some other. Nah. 2018, this woman's net worth is $13 million. Net worth. So she's worth more than that. But after expenses and taxes and all the you're left with $13 million. So if she was your greedy ass, then she would take the $500,000. Because too many of us, and I'm hearing mostly from brothers, you see, but many of y'all fake asses will bend over for $1. So you don't have any leg to stand on. You need to take your ass someplace and sat the fuck down. What Monique brings to the table. What exactly does Monique bring to the table? Quite frankly, a lot. Comedian Monique Hicks' net worth speaks to the fact that she is making a lot of bank, and the fact that Netflix perhaps lowballed her for their stand-up special offer. Take a look at her social media numbers. Now, before I read anything else, I want to say this. 13 million. You'll recall that that's what Amy Schumer ended up getting. Because first it was $11 million. Then she went back and renegotiated and they gave her a couple more. So they gave her, at the end of the day, they ended up giving her what Monique's net worth is. You know, I just think that's ironic. Twitter, she's got 151,000 followers. Instagram, she's got 225,000. All right. While not as big as some in the comedy world, Monique's fan base is fairly fervent. When she has a show, her fans will follow. Monique also gained a following as an actress over the last few years. She won an Oscar for her work in Precious and was nominated for numerous comedy and acting awards. She alleged that she was only paid $50,000 for her role in the film. All right. Well, we know that's the truth. You know, nobody disputes she was paid $50,000. So I don't know why they highlighted the alleged. All right. In short, Monique has a little bit of a point. Her resume points to a career that can generate a fair amount of viewers. But then again, maybe that's not why Netflix is offering such a low number. Monique is very vocal about, well, everything, depending on who you talk to, that made her hard to work with or has led her to be, quote, whiteballed from Hollywood. Since her Oscar win in 2009, Monique has done a grand total of 3 credits. Why? She went on record to say that she doesn't play by the rules of Hollywood. She isn't into kissing butt. She thanks who she wants to thank. And when she gets angry at someone or something, she will blast them in a public forum. According to director Lee Daniels, during the Precious campaign, Monique's demands became unreasonable. Eventually, her ego got to the point where word got around Hollywood that she was difficult to work with, hence less work. I want to stop and say this. He was paying her $50,000, everybody. If she's that difficult, he would have let her go. Usually the only time people put up these big diva, attitudes and all that kind of stuff and drama and all of it is usually when they're bitching about money, which she never did. She accepted, she had already agreed to the $50,000. And the only reason why directors won't let your ass go when you over the top with your divaness is because you're a huge commodity. And in most cases, they've given you several $1,000,000 for the picture. So they won't put up with people that are unbearable and unreasonable. So Lee Daniels' fake sissy ass needs to sat down and shut the fuck up. We can infer from what we know that that's not true, based on what I just told you. If she's not unreasonable, she's only getting 50 grand, they would usher you out the door. Bye-bye. Because up till Precious, Monique was not this huge actress that everybody can't wait to see her next performance. You see? So it just falls flat on its face. Monique claimed that her hiatus from the film was self-imposed. That her hiatus from film was self-imposed. But her lack of game playing has effectively blackballed her in Hollywood. Is part of the reason for Monique's low Netflix offer the company's uncertainty of the hassle in dealing with her? Whether or not is that reputation is deserved. These typos, dude. Whether or not is that reputation deserved, I think is what they meant. They put in too many ises. Monique's net worth and value. With all of this in mind, you've got to wonder, how rich is Monique? Between Monique's movies, TV shows, and her stand-up dates, she managed to keep a small fortune for herself. This is even in spite of Monique's divorce settlements. Currently, it is reported that Monique's net worth is approximately $13 million. So set your black slave asses down. You see, you're just like that fucking black stain at the Breakfast Club. I just feel like it's a personal thing instead of a collective. His bitch ass, as Monique pointed out when she was sitting right up there next to him, that he hadn't done his work. He hadn't done his homework. He's up there asking her questions about things that are public knowledge that he doesn't even know, that he didn't even know at that point. So they should have known that before she walked in that room. And he wouldn't have made that statement. Because they don't want to see that. Even if they had, they wouldn't want to, because then they have to accept, oh, she's doing this on principle, which puts more responsibility on your black ass. If this woman is walking away from $500,000 and then coming to her people and saying, we all need to boycott their ass, and I wouldn't take their $500,000, there's more weight to it when you understand she already sitting on $13 million. But I didn't need that. All I needed to know was my sister was being disrespected by this devil, and she was asking me to stand with her. That's all I need. And alas, that's what we all should need. But your character is fucked up. I had a sister unsubscribe from me and left me a message the other day. She unsubscribed because she watched the nearly 3-hour video that I did about Monique at the Breakfast Club. Loved everything. But the moment I talked about Massa's Christian vomit, she had to unsubscribe. But that same bitch, you wouldn't get her to just thumbs up the video if she loved it, and to share the video to help its searchability and so forth. You can be counted on to obstruct the progress of our people and not support. But you can also be depended on to strike down your people at the smallest thing when you give everybody else a pass every damn day. This is a commentary on who the fuck we are as a people. Your character is fucked up. You are the cause of your own shit. Because even a lot of the shit that the white devil perpetrates upon us wouldn't be possible if it wasn't facilitated by your asses. You help the situation. Voices like that make it possible for them to give Tiffany Haddish $800,000. Because there's always one of y'all black Christian asses that can be depended on to sell the rest of us out. Can be counted on. It's money in the bank. Money in the bank. So, I have been and I will continue. Anybody typing anything negative about Monique on these channels, your ass is going to be blocked and your fucking comment will be deleted. That's what I've been doing already. So many of you have just quietly been shooed away and you have no idea. If you don't know what the fuck is going on, just trust those of us that do. That's why I say, everybody, our battle is not just with our enemy. We got to fight internally our own. You see? But we got to be willing to dispense of them the same way we're going to dispense with this fucking white devil. You stand with them, you go down with them. Period. While that is not a huge gain from years past, she hasn't lost much. In 2016, Monique and her husband owed nearly $400,000 in back taxes to the IRS. Again, owing it doesn't mean you don't have it, everybody. And that was what they said, that was 2016. So that's 2 years ago. If they didn't pay it, trust me, they would have already been at their house and we would know about it. It would have been a big thing. You understand that? So they owed. Not they owe. 2016, they owed, past tense, nearly $400,000 in back taxes to the IRS, which allowed the IRS to place a lien on their property. Again, you may have your light bill, but you just didn't get around to paying it, and oh my God, here comes the red notice. That's the lien. So they put a lien. That don't mean you don't got it. Again, the woman has $13 million. To put a lien on property, including Monique's house. In 2017, another lien was placed on the comedian and her husband. Again, so they wouldn't have placed another lien if you already had the first lien, if the first lien was still outstanding. This was another lien. So maybe they just hadn't paid it yet at that point. You see? But in 2017, another lien was placed on the comedian and her husband for not paying their entire tax bill for the year before. This added another $170,000 to the bill. It was last reported that Monique and her husband owed $560,000, but she's got $13 million. You see what I'm saying? Wow. Her net worth in 2018 is $13 million. Her earnings from Precious was $50,000. Money owed in taxes totaled $560,000. All right. So she has that. I remind any of you that don't know what $560,000 is. That's just we'll just round it down and we'll say that it's a $500,000. This is someone who has 13 million. You don't need me to do the math for you. So I wanted to put that at the beginning of this, everybody, before we get into Rick Ross, just to say to everybody out there with this, Monique is a selfish thing and she's just trying to edit for herself. Fuck you and the bitch that gave birth to you, because this is a woman of principle, you see, of grace and truth. And she doesn't need to be out here pulling shenanigans. And I will say this lastly. It would have even been more, you should be grateful that she doesn't need the money, because you would be even more of a shit stain in my view if this woman needed the money and you still wouldn't support her. Because essentially that's where you were at anyway. Now you're finding out she's worth 13 million. That means you didn't support her when you didn't know. And that's more egregious. But you have more responsibility now, because you see beyond a shadow of a doubt she's doing it for the principle and for the reasons that she stated. That this is about black comedians and black people in general, quite frankly, but black comedians getting what they're worth. And women, because you got Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock got several $1 million. Amy Schumer gets several million. And Monique gets 500,000. You shouldn't have needed anything else. But righteousness is not at the core of what you pursue. It's not even on the table. It's not even on the table. It's not even on the table. You see, just like the heifer that wanted to let me know she was unsubscribing. Give a fuck. Because if righteousness and truth was what she pursued, she wouldn't have had no problem with me. You understand? Because she listened to the nearly 3-hour video and loved it. That's the only thing she had an objection with. So everything else I said was valid, but that wasn't. When did I become a liar? When did that happen? Did I just transform into a liar during the video? Did that happen? Dumb bitch. But this is the character of my people, and it makes me sick. It makes me sick. And it makes me sick because I give a damn. If I didn't give a fuck about my people, I wouldn't give a fuck. You don't care about the kid next door. That ain't your child. But your own child, now it matters. And that's how I feel. Now, Rick Ross, all right, has reportedly been put on life support after being hospitalized. The 42-year-old rapper fell ill at his home in Davie, Florida. Or Davie, I guess, with someone calling 911 at 3:30 a.m. on Thursday to say the person in distress was unresponsive and heavy breathing. The caller said the man in distress had a history of seizures and that they tried to wake him up, but he was slobbering out the mouth. According to TMZ, Rick is being treated in the hospital's cardiac unit, and it is suspected the star suffered a heart attack, which manifests itself in respiratory issues. Ross's former girlfriend and mother of his son William Roberts III told People, quote, "Pray for him." You know, and I also know that he's been on this lose weight thing too, which I really appreciate. The thing that bugs me most about him, like, I appreciate a good beard on a brother, you know, and Lord knows I've been through terror trying to get my beard right. But I don't like his beard at all, y'all. It just looks like his face is under attack. Do you understand? It's too glossy. It just, I can't. This is not what the video is about, Jedi. Move on. Damn it. I'm over it. TMZ also, was that his house? I don't know if that was an aerial of my house or his, because mine looks just, anyways, it's not important. Anyways, move TMZ also reports the Aston Martin music rapper has been hooked up to a machine that's taking over the function of his heart and lungs whilst he continues to undergo treatment at the hospital. This is not good, everybody. It's not good. Not good. And they said that he was slobbering from the mouth. He was unresponsive. So this suggests to me probably potentially, and I'm not a doctor, but this suggests to me potentially brain injury, maybe coma, potentially some brain injury. And now we're also understanding he has a history of seizures as well. That has to do with the brain. This doesn't look good. Sources tell TMZ Rick has been placed on ECMO and extracorporeal membrane oxygen, or extracorporeal membrane oxygen, which is a technique used to oxygenate his blood outside his body before it's pumped back into the body again. So then that tells me oxygen to the brain. This is a problem, homie. This is a problem. I remind you, Bobby Christina was on one of these machines, everybody. That's essentially a ventilator where your heart and lungs are being taken over by a machine. A dispatch report of the incident from Davie Police Department said Rick became combative when officers attended the scene, and it added that he boo-booed on himself. Okay, you know what? First of all, I'm going to object to that. First of all, who gives a fuck if he was combative? What does that mean? That's any black person acting naturally in an event. So maybe he was having involuntary body movement, perhaps a seizure even, or, something, but they did combative. Like, why is that in the report? Why is that there? And I don't think you needed to also divulge, and this is the police department divulging that he boo-booed on himself. I would have a lawsuit for that. I would have a lawsuit for that. That's stepping over the line. You understand? Yeah, whatever happens to him, I would like to see a lawsuit just for that shit to that fucking police department. I'm over it. Another source, I don't know, I guess these are all Instagrams and tweets and stuff, and I don't know, I'm over it. Alright. Another source told TMZ that the hip-hop star was reportedly asked to make an appearance Thursday night, but a rep told him the mogul was in the hospital. His eldest daughter, Towie Roberts, took to Instagram Friday, posting a picture with her dad, captioned, "You're the best dad ever," and "My main man, love him so much." Just 2 days ago, his youngest daughter, Berkeley Hermes, I'm over it. Black people, stop naming your kids after drinks and fucking fashion houses that we don't own, for the love of God. Y'all Christian folks, that's the only people that do that. Berkeley Hermes Roberts shared pictures and video to her Instagram account of her meeting Elmer with her dad. I'm over it. Appreciate the Versace shirt. However, hip-hop artist Fat Trell, no idea who that is, denied his friend was on life support, saying he was in hospital. Well, appreciate you, Fat Trail, whoever you are. At least he's trying to keep the privacy a little bit. But it's kind of out of the bag. He's in the hospital. And, they're not going to... TMZ is very good about fact-checking their reports. I don't remember seeing a whole lot of retractions from them over the years. I mean, they have people everywhere, and they're really good with their sources, and they're usually the ones that break a lot of stories first, And remember, it was TMZ that broke even the thing with Michael Jackson. It was TMZ. So, appreciate you, Fat Trail, but Your work is done here, bruh. It's done. He took to Instagram, posting a photo of Ross and writing that he talked to him on the phone. Quote, he in the hospital, but he is not on life. Did he really type that? He in the hospital? I can't. But he is not on life support. He good. Sounds like a 3-year-old wrote it. However, a family member strongly denied Rick was hospitalized. Come on now, y'all. You trying to say he's not on machines, one trying to say he's not even at the hospital, but Trail just said he's in the hospital. Listen, y'all, just such ass now. Such ass. Sometimes you can do something, it can become you doing too much now. You know. Many of his famous friends and peers took to Twitter wishing him well and asking people to pray for him, including LL Cool J, Missy Elliott, and Lil Wayne. And he's lost a lot of weight there too. I appreciate that. You know, now we just need to redo the beard because it's just too much. And his head is looking bigger than his body and everything. I can't. I'm not going to obsess. Let me move on. And I guess these are some of the tweets from various people. And oh my God, it's Trey Songz and I'm going to vomit. All right. Ross has a history of medical issues, according to TMZ, suffering 2 seizures on 2 separate flights in October of 2011. After initially blaming lack of sleep, Ross changed his lifestyle and diet and slimmed down, dropping up to 100 pounds. Rick, who already has 2 children from past relationships, welcomed his 3rd child with fitness model Brianna Camille in September of 2017. Is that her? I hate women that dress like that. I hate them to death. I hate it. That's every reality show, bitch. I hate black women that dress like this. It's, look, the fucking extreme shoes that they can barely fit in and barely hold their feet, and I hate that shit. I hate it. I hate it. The fake ass colored hair, I hate it, dude. And look, and what she got around her neck? A fucking Christian cross. I'm over it. Don't get me started. We're going to stay on Rick Ross right now. We're just going to do that. Well, that's the end of it. Anyways, I'm pulling for him. You know, he's a young brother. He's only 42 years old. You know, and he has children. And I just pray that, you know, he's able to come through this, you know. But it doesn't look good, everybody, at this point, based on what I know and what I've read now. You know. Once you're on a machine, that's not good. Anyways, our prayers go up for him, you know. And again, to all y'all folks that bullshit on Monique, take that shit someplace else, because it's not going to survive here. Not while the Jedi is at the helm. You understand? If you can't help us, get the fuck out the way. That's what I say. If my car is on the side of the road, you see me broke down, don't tap your fucking brakes. Don't even tap your brakes. If you're not intending to pull over and come help me, hit the fucking gas and screech tires. Don't even slow down. Don't. Because I'm not a spectator sport. You see what I'm saying? If you're not here to help, then you need to take your ass the fuck someplace else. Stop looking for always a reason to tear our people down. You know? There's legitimate things to tear our people down about. You know? There's serious critiques to be given. And I'm one who gives those critiques. You see? But everything in context and for the right reason. You're just doing it just to be doing it because you're selfish and you're bullshit. And because you're devoid of character and morals. I stand with our sister. And she didn't have to be Monique. It could be my neighbor next door. I told you the story even. of the sister. I had gone to Target one day to buy a phone and a new camera. I'm going to Target. I'm going to buy me a new camera and a phone today. I'm doing it. Damn it, I'm doing it. And I'm in there, and all of a sudden this lady comes in, and she looks clearly disheveled and clearly like she might be homeless. We find out she is homeless. She was an African woman, a continental African from the Congo. And she had been turned away from the homeless shelter. Well, no longer was phones and cameras on my agenda at all. That went out the window. I needed to help this woman, and I needed to assume this situation as if it was happening to me. And that's what I did. First, I had the sister that was helping me. I said, "Can you call call around there to the shelter, see what's up, see if they have an opening." She called and they said, "Yeah, we do have openings." Okay, fine. So I said, "Come with me, please." We went to the shelter, and it was two fake-ass black Christians up in there. Because, again, 86% of our people in this nation are under that bullshit. That's why your character's fucked up. Why you don't have a code of life and a code of allegiance to each other like the Muslim does. And the Jew, the Orthodox Jew. You see? You are godless, soulless, flailing, no moral base, and no code for life. So two of those people were up in there. One bitch with a mop on her head, as usual, and some fake-ass, spineless-ass brother. And I asked them, why was this woman turned away from this shelter? And like most of y'all godless Christian asses, righteousness was not the order of the day. So instead of dealing with the problem, they want to push back. No, let's not support Monique. Let's tear her down. Here is a woman that they've turned away, and she looks the same as y'all. Well, we can't get into that because that's not really something. Okay, you don't got to tell me the fucking history. But you need to help me understand how it is that the two of you would turn this woman away from this shelter. And all they kept doing was pulling shit out of their ass. Well, if you feel that's wrong, maybe you should give her a place to stay. I said, and absolutely, I'm prepared to do that. I'm absolutely prepared to do that. And so while I'm standing there in front of them, first I pulled out my driver's license because I wanted her to see my name, because I know that Islam is the #1 religion on the continent. And by her knowing that I'm a Muslim, that will tell her something about my character. So I showed her my driver's license. Then I emptied my wallet of all the cash that I had, and I pulled my pockets inside out and gave her all the cash that I had on me. Every dime of it. In front of their fake black Christian asses with no soul, no character, and no heart, and no morality. And then I said, well, maybe you can get on the phone and see if there's another shelter. Well, one of the places they called was normally closed, but somebody happened to hear the phone and answered it. And we found out some information. There was a place that was near, but that it was based on weather, so there was no guarantee. So I asked her if she wanted to go to that, and or if she wanted to go to a hotel, I'd get her a hotel. Because I figured if I offered her, just because I'm a dude, and I'm a stranger. And she's a woman, so I could understand if she wouldn't want to come home with me, So she said she wanted to go to the other shelter. So I said, okay. But as we walked into my car, we got in the car. I opened the door for her, got her situated, went around, got in. But I made an executive decision. We're not going to wait on weather. I drove her to the hotel. I went in and I told the gentleman, I said, I'd like to pay for a hotel room for her. Gave him my credit card. And After he processed it and gave me the receipt, she began to hand me the wad of money back that I gave her. I go, no, that's for you. That's for you. That is for you. Then the universe, the whisper, said I should walk her to her room. Thank God I did, because the little card key that you use, there was like a little glitch with it that I'm sure would have tripped her up, because it tripped me up a little bit, but I was able to, to get it, And I said, I want you to get you a good night's sleep. I want you to have a shower, enjoy TV, and just be at home. She grabbed my face with her hands. She said, you are a good man. You are a good man. You are a good man. And I said, no, just you don't owe me no credit, Then I left her. I cried all the way home. And all I could think was, I've got to do more than this. That was a Saturday. And I thought, well, tomorrow's Sunday, so she ain't gonna be able to really make no moves tomorrow, so I should go back and see what their weekly rate is and pay that. At the very least, pay for at least through Monday, because I've got things that I've got to do in my personal life and stuff like that. This will give me some time to maneuver and to make some calls, maybe call some Congress people, try and get her a voucher, get her some services, get her some resources and things like that. I worked out this whole little plan in my mind. And I went back the next day. My intent was to get over there before checkout time, and I did that. She didn't understand what the checkout time was, and she had checked out earlier before I got there. It broke me. It broke me. But I offer that story as just one of a million I could give you, because that's my heart, that's my character. To me, that was happening to me. You've got to assume responsibility, everybody, for your brother and your sister. You can't see it as that's them and it's happening to them, and so you don't give a fuck. You need to assume that as it's your own. And then your response to that will be proper. Until then, you will languish in the wilderness of ignorance, and you will continue to be oppressed successfully by this white devil in this nation. This is the Jedi.